As you all know, Ilia Topuria just knocked out active UFC legend Charles Oliveira last night at UFC 317 to become a 2-division champion in the UFC. And this leaves fans all across the world wondering, what will Ilia Topuria's next fight be in the UFC? It will be his first title defense at the lightweight division. And super quickly, if you guys want to support an up-and-coming MMA channel and be here from the beginning so that you could look back when we're big and be like, I've been a part of this community since day one. Now would be a great time to subscribe. We upload 2 to 3 times a week and they're all high quality videos. But with that being said, let's get back to the video. Now looking at who Ilia Topuria's next fight will be, after the fight, the cameraman painted 3 different fighters in the crowd, which really is the 3 contenders at the lightweight division now. And it was Justin Gaethje, Arman Tsarukyan, and Paddy Pimblett. And as I said, these are the most 3 deserving guys right now, and to make a case for each one, looking at Arman Tsarukyan, he's the #1 fighter ranked in the lightweight division. He beat Charles Oliveira as his most recent win, and he has a ton of other good wins besides that. But the current problem with this is he was supposed to fight Makhachev at UFC 311 back in January of this year. And Arman Tsarukyan pulled out on less than a day's notice because of back pains, and a lot of people think it was because he couldn't cut weight, and he got a bunch of flack from fans and Dana White and the UFC from it, and Dana White has said this is putting him back from getting a title shot, and he hasn't fought since. However, Arman Tsarukyan did weigh in successfully as the backup fighter for the fight last night, so many people think this is a step in the right direction and maybe him getting a title shot next. Now looking at Justin Gaethje, he's on a 1-fight win streak, not that impressive, but he has a lot of good wins in his past, and he's always been fighting the best of the best at lightweight, and he's a fan favorite, fun fight style, so we know the UFC likes to help their guys out and give the exciting guys title shots, so there's a very real chance it could be Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje also did say that if he does not get a title shot from the UFC next to fight Ilia Topuria, that he will retire. So that's just something else to think about in this scenario. Now looking at the third fighter, Paddy Pimblett, he is on a crazy win streak in the UFC. It's not been against the best competition, but his most recent win was against Michael Chandler. Paddy Pimblett is a crowd favorite by far. He's the most popular out of the last 3 fighters. He has a ton of hype behind him right now, and he looks to keep getting better in each fight. And on top of that, him and Ilia Topuria do have some beef, so it would be a very big fight for the UFC to put on. And going more into who's going to be fighting Ilia Topuria next, after Ilia Topuria beat Charles Oliveira last night, he had a post-fight interview in the octagon where he threw shots at Arman Tsarukyan pulling out of fights, and he threw insults at Paddy Pimblett. And Joe Rogan said, "You're talking about Paddy Pimblett? Let's get Paddy Pimblett in here." And so Paddy Pimblett came into the ring and had a face-off with Ilia Topuria, where they immediately started arguing with each other, saying that they'd beat the other one, insulting each other, and beef was getting live. The crowd was into it, everybody was into it. It was pretty interesting though, because Ilia's wife and kid were right there next to him, so it was a bit of a weird scenario, but that is beef brewing, and it is building up a very big fight between those two, and it makes it seem like Paddy Pimblett will be fighting Ilia Topuria next, because the fight before, they just had Joshua Van face off with Pantoja, and they said that is the next fight that will be made. And following this up, a reporter asked Ilia Topuria in his post-fight press conference who he'd like to face next, and Ilia Topuria said that he's going to fight Paddy Pimblett next. So that's just all the reasons pointing towards Paddy Pimblett being the next lightweight challenger to fight Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria also turned down a fight against Makhachev if Makhachev lost to JDM and moved back down to lightweight division. Ilia Topuria said that will not happen, but we all know that if Islam comes back down, those two are definitely going to fight. So right now, all signs seem to point towards Paddy Pimblett fighting Ilia Topuria. However, Dana White was asked about this in the post-fight press conference. Dana White said that Paddy Pimblett should have never been invited into the octagon, and he does not agree with who did that. He said this was a special moment for Ilia, and nobody should have came in the ring. It seemed like Dana White was alluding to the fact that we have 3 good contenders for the lightweight championship, and there hasn't been a decision made yet, which very well could be the case. However, Dana White was asked about Arman Tsarukyan, and if weighing in for this fight guaranteed him the next title shot, and Dana White said no, but it is a step in the right direction. And then a reporter also asked Dana White about Justin Gaethje fighting Ilia Topuria, and he brought up the Gaethje retirement thing, and Dana White said, well, you know what I think, if you bring up retirement, you should probably retire. And then he also said that for Justin Gaethje to threaten retirement if he doesn't get a title fight is pretty wacky of him. So it doesn't seem like we're getting Justin Gaethje versus Ilia Topuria, and we already know how he feels about Arman, and Arman's in the doghouse right now. So it really looks like the next fight that will happen happen will be Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria sometime later this year for the lightweight championship. Hopefully that fight gets done this year and we don't wait till next year. We want to see active champs. These guys fight often. So a fight later this year in the fall or early winter would be a great fight. But anyways, you guys let me know down below, who do you think will fight Ilia Topuria next, and how long can Ilia Topuria stay the lightweight championship for in the UFC? With that being said, if you guys liked the video and made it this far, consider dropping a subscribe. It helps me out more than you think. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.